I'm Oprah Winfrey. Today, my guests are some of this season's hottest leading men on primetime television.
Ladies, hold on to your chairs. Here he is. Throw the kids in the next room. Jason Bateman.
All right. Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman.
Is it? Yeah.
It's Jason.
Oh yeah, everybody. Oh yeah, welcome back to another hot episode of a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss them over a glass of wine. I'm your boy, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here by my New Year's baby, Kat Halstead, the author. Welcome back, girl.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's 2021 now. The weather outside is frightful. The Civil War is looming. And I can't believe that was the wildest Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest ever, right? I hope Mariah fires her publicist for that one.
I mean, as soon as you said that, all I could think about was the Mariah Carey thing from a few years ago.
The lip dubbing or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't think of what happened to her the other day on New Year's Eve on national television?
Patrick, you're going to make a fool out of yourself if Mariah Carey's not actually on Rockin' Eve this year.
Well, that's just in case she does something crazy.
Or if she's not even on. We don't know. We don't know because it's only November. We haven't even had Thanksgiving in our world.
That is true. It's a new year, new us, new episodes of the podcast, and we're here to usher you in to a hot new theme month. A hot new theme month that Kat Halstead, the author, said we would never do again. But guess what? It was her idea, so she can go pound some sand.
Like, I was half joking, but I was half serious about this. I mean, there's just so much good stuff from this particular actor that it would be silly to not do a theme month.
Right? We're in the January doldrums, and, you know, we're just looking to branch out into new territory, and it's like, hey, I don't think we've ever done anything with Jason Bateman. Yeah, it's Jason Bateman January here at the pod. We're going to go through his film and television catalog.
Yes.
Retrace his footsteps through Hollywood in the 80s, 90s, and the nows.
Yes.
Let's go, girls. Shout out to Shania Twain.
Get in, bitches.
Yeah, get in the bus, the Bateman bus. We're going on a tour. We're going on a tour of his illustrious career. First stop? What's first stop?
Our first stop, the Hogan Family.
Yes.
Which had two other titles before it was the Hogan Family. The first title was Valerie. The second title was Valerie's Family. And then finally, the title I believe it is most widely known and accepted as is The Hogan Family.
Yes, when the show eventually hit syndication, they just rebranded the entire series The Hogan Family. That's the name that pops up on the credits.
Even the Valerie eps.
True story. I always called the show, as a child, I always called it Valerie because that's what it was actually called. Even when she was no longer on it, I still called it Valerie. And now I just call it The Hogan Family because, you know.
I think I only knew it as The Hogan Family.
Really? You didn't watch the show live week to week?
I think I did, but like the years it was Valerie were 86 to 88. So when we came back in 89, 88, 89 for it to be Hogan Family, I think it was like easier to just accept.
Hold on. When did the show begin?
The show began on March 1st, 1986.
I'm confused because this episode aired in 1987, and I was like, let me double check this, because you kind of like threw me off.
Ooh, you're right. No. Because, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Was this a mid-season replacement in 1986? I think it was.
Yes, it was.
Okay, all right. Whew. I was like, this whole night of television would have been skewed.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I have time to pull it together live. We've been doing a live this night in television of me trying to find the data.
Yeah, because the second season began in 86 and ran to 87. And then there was the whole thing where, like, Valerie was just finally out. And then they brought in Sandy Duncan.
Valerie Harper's issues with the show was she kind of wanted to take the show into, like, her direction. She wanted creative control. And, I don't know, Laura Mar Television or whoever was in charge was like, no way. So they just, like, clashed all the time, right? They were just always at each other's throats.
Yes, Valerie, my understanding is she believed it was her show.
I mean, her name's on the title, right?
And when things kind of started to skew more towards the entire family, I think she was like, hold up.
All right, it's wild because I remember her being a big focal point of the show, and I remember the kids. But like the dad, Josh Taylor, as Michael Hogan, was like never on it. He was like barely in scenes. He was always away, flying around the city or flying around the country.
Yeah, so especially the first 2 seasons, he's in like maybe 1 to 3 scenes an episode. Like that's it.
Yeah, like maybe the beginning, and maybe he comes back at the end, or like maybe he calls like from wherever he's at. He like calls up, and we get like a phone scene, and he's like. Maybe Valerie's having a problem with David, the oldest son.
Yeah, and then once they got rid of Valerie, they pulled him in for more scenes in the episode, but even then, he's not in that many scenes in this episode. But to be fair, Josh Taylor has been on Days of Our Lives for a good chunk of time. I don't feel like looking it up, but it's been since the 90s. And his character, Roman, is just kind of like the guy who now runs the family pub and is the talk to. He doesn't very often get like a storyline.
Oh.
He is not considered to be one of the stronger actors.
I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Justice for Josh Taylor. Justice for Josh. I feel like he never got his due. You know what? He like landed himself a sitcom. He got to play the patriarch, and it's like he's like hardly in the show. And then it's like the star of the show gets fired. He's like, this is my time to shine. And then they bring in Sandy Duncan, who like pretty much takes like top billing, and then it's like, all right, you know what? He's on Days of Our Lives. He's gonna play Roman Brady, who's like like a big character, a big to do, and I don't know. His character dies, I think, at some point in time, right? Like, doesn't he die?
This is the thing with Josh Taylor. Back in like the early 80s, before he was on the Hogan Family, he was on Days of Our Lives as a different character.
Okay, yeah, because what's his name? Like Wayne Northrop was Roman, right?
Yes. He was actually his character was friends with Roman Brady, and was a groomsman when Roman and Marlena got married.
Ooh.
Then Roman died, came back from the dead, and then died again. And the last time he came back, Josh Taylor took over the role, and he's been playing that role ever since.
And that was like 97, 98-ish, right? It's like been a while. Yeah, it's been a big run. And lest we forget, he also played Dylan McKay's dad in Beverly Hills 90210.
That's right. I always forget that.
Yeah, and then spoiler alert, he dies on the show, but also another spoiler alert, he comes back to life. He was like really hiding from the mob or something. He was in witness protection program, but like Good Morning America like captured him on film or something, and like Dylan saw the report, and he's like, "Hey, that looks like my dad. Hey, it's my dad." And he like went on the big hunt for him and found him, and they reunited. And
oh yeah, didn't he like take Valerie to Mexico to find his dad or something?
No, that was to get his kid sister, Erica McKay. A fun episode, but not a good storyline in the long run. It was fun at the time. They hired Jonesy, who was like a hitman maybe. I don't know. He was some kind of like adventurer or something.
Oh, Jonesy! As soon as you said it, I just okay.
Yeah, he was like an older guy, but he knew his way around the mob or something. I can't remember. All right. Before we get in too deep into the Hogan family, into the wild world of the Hogan family and friends, do you want to do a quick this night of television? You want to talk about this? This is actually kind of like a decent night of television. There's some heavy hitters on tonight, some movies, sports, a lot of stuff going on. I don't think we'll get a Cat 5, but here's hoping. Here's to you. Here's to a new year. Do you know the hot air date? Do you have the hot air date in front of you?
It is like March 1st, March 6th? March 1st, 1986.
No, it's Monday, September 21st, 1987.
Oh, sorry. No, never mind. Sorry.
Where are you?
My brain is just muddled right now, okay? Give me a break.
All right. You know what? Apology corner. We apologize for the technical difficulties. Kat's brain is muddled. She only had 1 cup of coffee instead of her normal 5.
Okay. You know what's so funny? It's yesterday. I was on the phones for work, and I do my whole, "Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm calling from yada yada research." And the woman goes, "How high are you? How much coffee have you had? Bye."
You're like, I just recorded a podcast about the Santa Claus movie, so, I've been yelling at Patrick for 2 hours.
I was like, I haven't had that much coffee.
All right. Monday, September 21st, 1987. I think I'm in kindergarten. I think we're both in kindergarten.
Yeah, we're in kindergarten.
Learning about the colors, learning Roy G. Biv maybe this week.
Yeah, we're learning about like brown bear, what do you see?
Yeah, maybe we sang like some I know, some songs about monsters under my bed. Did you ever sing that song? The Monsters Under My Bed song?
No.
Are you going to find it? I used to love it. All right. Who cares about that? Who cares about that? What we're here for, what you're here for, is this hot night of television.
Okay.
So things start off with our boys at ABC, The Alphabet. 8 o'clock. Probably a well-known show, a show that is like kind of still on today, I think. MacGyver.
It's not kind of still on today. It has a reboot.
You know what I meant. That's why I said it's kind of still on.
No, that doesn't count. A reboot doesn't count as kind of still on. It's a totally different show.
Okay. All right. It's been rebooted in 2018. I don't even know it's still on, to be honest with you. Is that still like a thing?
It is.
What about the Magnum PI they did? Is that still a thing?
I believe so.
Wow. Okay. Shout out to CBS for like getting these shows to last. All right. Following MacGyver, we get a hot night of sports. It's Monday Night Football. We get the New York Jets versus the New England Patriots. Any wagers on who might have won this game tonight? Any hot wagers?
The Jets.
You got it. They won 43-24. Sorry, Pats. Not tonight. All right. We're going to head on over to the Tiffany Network. This is a show that I know you used to watch. We've never talked about it for the podcast. We maybe mentioned it in passing, but I know like we've been trying to look for apps. Kate and Allie.
Oh, okay.
This was a hot sitcom about Susan St. James and Jane Curtin. They're, two divorced women who are, like, moving on with their lives kind of thing?
Yeah, and they share an apartment with the 3 kids.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's kids. Okay.
But then, like, Jane Curtin's character gets married.
What?
Yes, to... I want to say her character married Veda's uncle from the My Girl movies.
Oh,
I could be completely wrong. Like, because I haven't seen this show in so long, but, like, I remember Jane Curtin's character gets married, and then, because I think she was Kate? No, she was Allie, and then Kate still lives with them in the new apartment, and, like, all the kids have moved out.
That's a wild string of coincidence, because doesn't Jane Curtin and Dan Aykroyd, they were, like, famously news anchors on SNL together back in the day?
I could be completely wrong, and ooh.
I feel like you should look this up. I feel like we need to do a Wikipedia corner right now.
I'm going to the IMDb.
I'm like, who plays the uncle on My Girl? Like, I know that face. I can see it right now. Richard Masur is his name.
Well, because you know what's so funny is that, like, if it was him, I don't see him in the cast. So I just know she married some guy.
I'm not seeing it in the IMDb. I'm kind of like around 89 to 86, and
yeah,
I don't know. He was a busy man around that time. He was in episodes of Matlock. He was doing 30 something.
I just know that Allie got married at some point towards the last season or two. Like all the other girls. Like, the 2 girls had moved out. Maybe the son was still around.
The actor's name was Sam Freed.
Okay.
And you may know him as playing the dad on the Ferris Bueller TV series. And he was on the last 3 seasons of Kate and Allie and the Coneheads movie.
Okay.
And a movie called Brooklyn Lobster. You know what? They kind of like have this like a similar face, sort of, but
I mean, to be fair, like I haven't seen Kate and Allie in close to 30 years.
I know. I was gonna say if that was right, if that was correct, and you pulled that out of like thin air, you would have gotten like the first AVSP coin of the season. You would have been in lead.
I mean, but I was close. I at least knew what happened in the final season, sort of.
He's at least in the movie Coneheads, which also has Dan Aykroyd in it, so I don't know.
So we're not completely wrong.
Yeah, so you're almost there. Shout out to Sam Freed. If you're listening to this, send us a hot tweet at Very Podcast. Tell us what it's like to be an actor, what it was like to star with Jane Curtin for the last 3 seasons of Kate and Allie. You ready for CBS 830? This is wild. This is a wild idea. I've never heard of the show, but apparently TV Guide listed it as the number 3 canceled too soon list in 2013. Are you familiar with a show called Frank's Place?
Tell me more.
All right. This was only on for 1 season, lasted 22 episodes. It starred Tim Reed from WKRP in Cincinnati and Daphne Maxwell Reed, who you may know as the second Vivian Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The series follows Tim Reed's character, who was a professor at Brown University, and then he moves to New Orleans to run a restaurant. Mm-hmm. And it kind of did that, like, fish out of water format that you see on, like, Green Acres and Beverly Hillbillies. It's like he's way out of his element. Yeah. They threw in, like, meatier storylines, like class issues and race issues. And I don't know. I guess it was kind of popular and kind of well known, but it just didn't work for some reason. It didn't catch on. It didn't have a laugh track either, so I wonder if that like confused people.
They're like, is this supposed to be funny? What's going on? We don't understand.
Yeah, I feel like minds of the 80s, if they didn't hear someone laughing in the background, they're like, what do I do? Help.
How am I supposed to know this is funny?
You know what? Sometimes, like, I've been watching episodes of MASH on Hulu, and I find the laugh track on that really distracting because it's not a laugh track type show.
Yeah.
It really, like, throws me off. The next hour of CBS is a hot one. We've done both of these shows. Any guesses for CBS 9 o'clock? Kind of just did it recently.
No, wait, hold on. Newhart?
Yeah, you got it. What's on after?
Ugh.
Come on, it's 1987.
Oh, I don't know. I can't pinpoint it in my head right now.
I feel like we're too early for Murphy Brown, but
Yeah.
what's another hot show around the era that kind of was similar in vein?
Designing Women?
You got it, girl. Following that, it's our favorite crime-fighting duo, Cagney and Lacy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun little lady detective show. Like, one's a mom, the other one's like a single woman, and they both have different personalities, but they come together and stop criminals on their own without the help of a man. Mm-hmm. Fun little show. It's on Amazon. I've been watching episodes here and there, and like at least the first season's pretty good. It kind of like weakens in later seasons, but I don't know. The first season's kind of fun.
Oh, that's a shame.
All right. I'm here for NBC. I'm here for NBC tonight, at least the first hour.
Okay.
This is definitely what I was watching. At 8 o'clock, we get Elf. Yeah, America's favorite alien.
Okay.
Yeah. And then following Elf is the Hogan Family at 8:30. Ooga. You ready for Night at the Movies with it for NBC?
What do we got?
All right, this is a remake of a 1969 theatrical release. A little movie called If It's Tuesday, It Still Must Be Belgium. This was a TV remake of a popular movie of the late 60s. It starred Courtney Cox, David Leisure, Doris Roberts, Peter Graves, and the film focuses on various characters and their adventures during like an 18-day bus trip through Europe.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess every person has their own like storyline. Like, I think some of them are like action adventure themed. Other ones are like comedy. Other ones are just kind of like drama. I'm kind of thinking like one of those like rat race type movies, or like it's a mad world. Probably too many mads. I never know how many mads to put there. And yeah, it's just like a set piece with all these actors. But Courtney Cox, yeah. She's like almost top billing. She's like maybe the third or fourth name, so she's rising in the ranks.
Oh, so the movie was actually called If It's Tuesday, It Still Must Be Belgium.
Yeah, isn't that what I said? Or did I say something else?
No, you said, well, because, okay, so the 1969 movie is called If It's Tuesday, This Must Be Belgium. The 1987 version is called If It's Tuesday, It Still Must Be Belgium.
Mixed it up. Oh, because it's still Belgium in Tuesdays. Mm-hmm. But it's a Monday. It's on a Monday. They should have put it on a Tuesday.
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense to me. I guess I was looking at like the schedule, and it was like recently, the original one was just recently on TCM, Turner Classic Movies, and I was like, oh, we just missed it.
Yeah, like I actually just pulled up information for it on TCM.
All right. On a scale out of 1 out of 5, 2 divorced women moving on with their lives, how many 2 divorced women moving on with their lives would you give this night of television?
I'm gonna give it a 3.
A 3? Yeah, I'm gonna give it like a 3.5. It's got staples. It's got some things I'm intrigued about. I mean, I know what I was watching.
There's enough stuff that you could be kind of bouncing around.
Yeah, I could definitely see some like issues maybe. Like my mom wants to watch Kate and Allie, but I'm like, I want to watch Elf. And like my dad probably wants to watch MacGyver.
Yeah, see, okay.
I can see the conflict.
That's the thing. I'm pretty sure my mom wanted to watch Kate and Allie, and I wanted to watch Elf.
Yeah, and your dad wanted to watch MacGyver and The Game.
My dad didn't give a... No, actually, no. My mom wanted to watch MacGyver.
Ooh, she had a thing for Richard Dean Anderson. She loved his long locks.
He was Jeff Weber on General Hospital.
Oh, that's where he begat. That's where his whole career started.
So my mom probably was watching MacGyver. My brother and I were watching Elf.
Yeah, I see it.
Dad was probably just getting home from the bar. Strolling in, going into the kitchen to, like, heat up a hungry man.
Coming in and be like, you guys are still up? He's like, what are you still doing up?
And then he'd watch football.
You're like, I'm watching Kate and Allie.
Pretty much.
I don't know. Overall, I think it's a decent night of television.
Yeah, I mean, you get...
the staples.
You get Alf, you get the Hogan Family, you get Designing Women.
Yep. You get a hot movie with Courtney Cox and David Leisure.
You get what could possibly be a fun little movie to watch on NBC.
Yeah.
You got some sports. It's a nice little basic night.
Yeah. It's one of those...
There's variety.
It's one of those nights where you like pray there's like 4 TVs in your house because everyone probably wants to watch something different.
Yeah.
Like today, it'd be no issue, but in 1987, you probably maybe had 2 TVs, right?
Okay, we had a TV in the living room, and then we had like maybe there might have been another color TV like set up in the dining room or the kitchen. And then we definitely had at least one black and white TV.
Yeah, for me, I definitely know we still had that like old furniture piece of like that big ass television in the living room.
Yeah.
Then I think we had a smaller color TV in what we called it the office. It was really just like another living room for the kids. I don't know why we called it the office. And then this might have been the year that I got a small ass black and white TV in my room that just had like the rabbit ears, because I remember like watching Alf and Hogan Family like at various times in my life, and it had to have been this year. Like I'm pretty sure it was.
Yes, I had one of those small black and white TVs in my room too.
And I kind of remember like falling asleep and then waking up and the TV was still on, and it'd always be like maybe like 30 minutes into whatever the 9 o'clock movie was. Mm-hmm. And I just remember watching this one. It was like this little girl had like an asthma attack, and I've been trying to find this movie like my entire life. Maybe we'll find it one day.
Yeah, it's like a decent night of television, like especially considering the year. Like there's enough variety that there was something for everyone.
Yeah, the whole family.
I don't think you could say that with TV today.
No, I feel like TV is just a hodgepodge now.
I'm going to tell you.
Just whatever.
Last night, I got off work at 7. I'm working from home currently. So at 7 o'clock, I went to turn on the TV, and I was like, there's nothing on I want to watch right now. The only thing I want to watch tonight is This Is Us.
You had to wait for a while, right? You had to wait forever.
And I had to wait. Like, I left NBC on. I left it on mute. Because I didn't really care what was happening on The Voice.
Oh, yeah. It's like The Voice is on for like 2 hours, right? It's just like way too long.
No, The Voice is on for an hour. It feels like 5.
Oh, it's like, like when you're at work and like 15 minutes feels like 2 hours?
Yes.
It's like a time vortex. That's The Voice. It's just a little time vortex.
Yeah, I'm just like, and I like, look, there wasn't the ABC had like The Bachelorette or something. CBS had like some procedural, and I'm like, I miss just like that hour of sitcoms before things got like heavier. You know what I mean?
That's why we have Hulu and Amazon Prime and our boys at the Peacock. Shout out to the boys at the Peacock giving us classic eps of Punky Brewster.
But yeah, I was just like, there's nothing that's gonna like entertain me for an hour on right now. Like, this sucks.
You should have made a press release for the podcast, like I was doing. I was up all night in my little...
No, you made the press packet.
You know what I meant. Same thing. The press packet. Yeah, we have a press packet now, so get ready, girls.
And I have written plenty of press releases for this podcast, so shh.
I know. I've read them. I've seen them on the wire, the AP wire. Mm-hmm. They're coming through the ticker. It's on the CNN like crawl screen on the bottom. It's like, AVSP announces Jason Bateman January. Ooh, we'll have to do a press release for that.
Yes, we will.
All right. You ready to talk about 30 minutes of Hogan Family, which is just kind of like, where it's the 3rd season premiere. We're at a crossroads for the show. It's like a transition period. We have to slide in gently into the Sandy Duncan years, but we have to make it seem like she's always been part of the family.
After I watched this particular episode last night, I went back and I just want to like see the difference in the dynamic. Mm-hmm. And I watched the first episode with Valerie, so like the actual pilot, and then I watched the last episode with her in it, like just to see if there was even any hint that she was gonna die or anything. But no, there's like nothing.
Well, I mean, this was like those family dramas, family sitcoms of the 80s that were just so like saccharine and sweet, and they really was never any like long-term conflict. Any issues people had with each other were resolved like in the 3rd act real early on, so you can get that sweet moment.
Oh yeah, well, okay, like in the pilot, our boy David, played by Jason Bateman, is like, he's old enough to drive, so I'm guessing he's like 16, and he is dating a 24-year-old woman.
Is it a known actress?
And Valerie is not here for this.
Is it a known actress, or is it just like a rando?
No, oh my god. I was totally team Valerie watching this. I was like, what does this 24-year-old bitch want with a 16-year-old? And she was one of those like 80s teenage fast talker type people.
Oh.
And she was like, Oh my god, so he's like 16, which means he's like basically 17, which means he's basically like 18, which means he's basically 20. So there's like no age difference. And I'm like,
Where'd they meet? Like at the mall? Like what?
I don't know.
Like they were already together at the start of the episode?
Yeah, they had already started dating. And like Valerie had found a note in his pocket from some girl talking about like their age difference after he had sat in syrup.
Oh, I bet they met at the food court or something. There's probably like a little, I don't know, a little breakfast joint, like a Denny's type place.
Something, but like Valerie's like, you can't go out with this woman. He's like, you haven't even met her. So Valerie's like, invite her over for lunch. So like they invite this girl over, and it is like the most awkward interaction. Like this woman is just like, what does she want with a 16, 17-year-old? No, gross.
I was gonna ask, like, did David lie about his age in the episode, but apparently not.
No.
So.
That's what, like...
I know Brenda Walsh in the first episode of 90210, she, like, meets, like, a 24-year-old guy at the club that her and Kelly and Donna sneak into, and, like, she pretends she's a college student. So I didn't know. Like, that was, like, a thing. That was, like, the 80s and, like, early 90s. That was, like, a plot point on so many teen-based sitcom dramas.
I mean, Zach did it on Saved by the Bell. Julia did it on,
Yeah, it was just, like...
Party of Five. Julia did it to the point where, like, the place, because she lied about her age to get a job at a club.
Oh, wow.
That place got shut down because she lied about her age.
I don't know, the local government came in.
And she was, like, sleeping with the guy.
Yeah, I remember, like, Brenda's out on a date with Jason. That was his name, Jason. And he's like, where do you live? And she's like, oh, like, you know, like, down by, like, Cal U. And he's like, oh, I'll drop you off at your dorm. And, like, he just drops her off at, like, a random corner. And she, like, pretends to go into a building. And then he drives off. And then she, like, walks out and, like, runs to a payphone and calls up Brandon, like, can you come get me? Please save me, Brandon.
How is Brandon gonna know where to find her? Like, they moved there a week before.
Maybe she, like, described, like, where she was.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm terrible with directions. I have no idea where I'm going. I have lived in the Springs for, like, a while now. And I don't know how to get anywhere except for, like, 5 places.
Maybe Brenda walked to the nearest 7-Eleven and faxed Brandon a map on the Walsh family fax machine. Because, you know, Jim had one because he's like, I don't know, an accountant or something. So, you know, he's always getting data. He's always getting hot data sent to him. So he's got a fax machine.
Okay.
All right. So David, how does this illustrious fare with David and Lady 24 end?
After the lunch, like, Valerie's still against it. And she finally, like, kind of says something to David. She's like, David, if you defy me, it's going to change our relationship. Right now, I'm your mother, and I can mother you. But if you defy me and you go out with this woman, I'm not going to be able to mother you anymore.
Oh, so, like, what's that mean? Like, she won't do his laundry anymore or something? Or, like...
Yeah, probably. It's like, you go out there, I'm not doing your laundry, you're not going to get the car keys, you're not going to get, like, anything ever again.
Yeah, you're not going to get, like, candy under your pillow after I make your bed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's a thing that Valerie did for some reason. I don't know. I feel like David has a sweet tooth.
Then he, like, dumped the girl, and the girl's like, you're dumping me? It's like, dude, you're 24! He's 16!
I wonder where she is now. What she's doing now.
Oh, she's probably on an FBI list somewhere.
Yeah. She's on the run. She's on the lam. Her and Jason from 90210, they met up.
David had a really good relationship with his mother, which is going to bring us into this episode that we did.
Yeah, I was even reading, like, Jason Bateman and Valerie Harper, like, had they formed a friendship, like, on the set. Like, I was reading that when Valerie Harper announced that she had cancer, brain cancer, or whatever kind of cancer she had, like, he, like, wrote her a letter, like, a very strong-worded letter, like, I miss you, and all this stuff, and, like, you taught me everything that I know today, kind of thing, so shout out to him for, you know, still being friends all these years
They were
later.
still friends, yes.
Good for him. Oh, one other quick thing I wanted to mention. So after the first season of Roseanne kind of was going through a similar thing with producers, and they tried to, like, Valerie Harper her, and, like, push her off the show, what had her name on it. And, like, as a joke, she wrote Sandy Duncan on her like, dressing room door one day.
Roseanne is savage.
So I guess, like, everyone came into work and it just said Sandy Duncan, and they're like, what?
Roseanne is a hot freaking mess, but she's savage.
Yeah, oh yeah. She will cut a bitch if she has to.
Yeah.
She will fucking stab you in the front and the back.
Like, she gives no shits.
Yeah, she gives no shits. She'll fucking quit everything and start her own nut farm.
Post weird live streams on YouTube now.
Yeah, conspiracy theories. She's probably like the queen of QAnon. Let's be real. She probably is Q. I wouldn't put it past her.
Oh my
All
god.
right. You ready? You ready to go? You ready to move on? Just forget about the Valerie years?
Yes.
You know what? R.I.P. Valerie. I guess she died in between season 2 and season 3 in a horrible car wreck.
Yeah, so the way... Okay, because season 2 just, like, ends with, like, a regular basic episode. There's nothing, like, traumatic or anything, you know. We come back, and I have to believe there's been, like, multiple press. There's gotta have been, like, tons of press about this over the summer.
Oh, 100%. I just remember being a child and I was so confused. I was like, what's going on? Where's the mom? She's dead? What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm sure I said something like that too to my mom.
I'm like, who? Sandy Duncan? I'm like, what's she doing here?
Why is this weird blonde there? That's not the mom.
Yeah, and they just like forced her on, like force fed her onto us. You know what? I thought they did a really good job, like kind of breaking her into the show. But like watching this today, you just see the forced like hand feeding of the character.
We find out that like Valerie has died in an automobile accident. It was like 6 months before. And since then, the father, played by Josh Taylor, Michael, has been home because after that happened, the airline let him stick around and teach flying lessons for the new pilots or something.
Yeah, there must be like a nearby airfield that he gets to teach at.
Yeah, well, it's just outside Chicago.
Oh, I was going to ask you, where do they live? I never really picked up on it.
Yeah, a really, really nice suburb outside Chicago. Because this house is freaking huge.
It is. And you know what? I was...
Like, this is one of the biggest TVs that, like, oh my god.
I had a question about the house layout. I put it in my notes, so...
Oh, this house is huge. Like, even the establishing shots, that house is huge.
Yeah, we see the establishing shots, like, whenever we come back from commercials. It's even featured in the theme song.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's 2 floors. The 2 younger brothers, Willie and Mark, they have to share a room. And I'm like, there's not enough rooms in this house where they can have their own room.
Yeah, I mean, but then, like, in the pilot episode, you see Valerie and Michael's bedroom. That place is huge. Like, it's a huge set. And, like, the boys' bathroom that they all have is huge. Like, there's a bathtub, a shower.
Powder room.
Like, big sink area. Like, and there's just, like, a lot of floor space. Like, it's not one of those teeny tiny, like, it's not a tiny bathroom like my bathroom. It's huge.
So I'm guessing, you know what? Rather than have multiple rooms, they just want to have, what, like 3 small rooms? 3 large rooms in the house?
I'm sure the thing is, I think Valerie works from home.
Oh, so she, like, took her room?
As a graphic designer.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to her hot graphic design career, making little, like, Hallmark cards or something. I don't know what she did.
I think there's spaces. Like, I think because the boys share a room because they're twins.
Yeah.
At this point.
I was going to ask you that because growing up, I always thought they were twins. And then when I was watching this last night, I'm like, one is clearly older than the other one.
No, they're twins. They're twins.
When I look at them, though.
The characters are supposed to be twins. The actors there's like a 20-month age difference or something.
Okay, but like one is clearly like more developed than the other one. Which I guess can happen if they're not identical twins. But I was confused. Like, I was afraid I was going to say they're twins, and you're going to be like, they're not twins.
They're not twins, Patch. No, they are twins.
Yeah, okay. Then I was right. Because that's my memory. I was like, the twin brothers. And I'm guessing maybe in the first season, maybe they look like the same age, but definitely in this episode, one looks more developed than the other one.
Yeah, I think, but it kind of works around their different personalities, too, for the brothers.
That is true, because like one's like a doofus kind of, and the other one is...
Yeah, like one's kind of like the doofus jock guy, and the other's the like clean-cut academic.
So Mark is the doofus, right? That's what I always kind of...
I can't remember which ones are which. No, I think...
Mark was the one who was blindfolded in the episode.
No, that's your academic dude.
Really? Well, I mean, I guess he was doing like a hot science project, but I always like...
Yeah, for fun.
Okay.
He was doing it for fun.
I don't know.
Willie's the doofus jock guy.
I just remember an episode where they slept... This is weird, but I remember they slept with the window open, and when they woke up the next day, they were both dumb, and the assumption was that if you sleep with your window open, I guess like your brain leaves the room or the house or something.
What?
And I don't know, I just remember that one from when I was little. And like I was always afraid to sleep with the window open.
Maybe that's why I don't sleep with my window open.
Because you go dumb. It was just like an old wives' tale that like one of the adults on the episode said it, and then they really thought it was true.
So when we drop in on the Hogan family at this point, the dad is getting ready to go back to actually flying again.
He's a commercial airline pilot. He travels all around the world.
So he'll do kind of like a nice little trip to like New York, then he'll go to China or Japan or France or something, you know.
Yeah, he's gone for like days at a time. It's like this trip he established that he'll be gone for a week. He's like, I'll see you guys next week. But before he goes, we kind of get like a establishing shot of them trying to function without Valerie. So we get the three brothers. They're like trying to make breakfast or something.
The brothers at this point are making dinner and they've got it down. Like David's got a lasagna in the oven ready to come out. The guys are making a salad together. They've got garlic bread. Like they got this going. They're good. Like they have found a flow. David has definitely kind of taken leadership over the two brothers.
Yep, he probably read some psychology books.
Yeah, he's probably like, mom's gone, dad's gonna be gone, I gotta step up. It's that older sibling needs to take care of the younger sibling thing that happens.
Yes.
At this age, if you lose a parent.
Yes, and then, so what happens is the dad's leaving for the first time a week. He's a little nervous. He's like, I'm a little concerned, but he's not too worried, because we find out Sandy's there.
Yeah, so his sister Sandy has recently gotten a divorce, and she is a high school guidance counselor, and she got very lucky and was able to get a job at the boys' school.
And it's her first day. It's her first day.
Yes, and she's got to she's bringing stuff out from probably her room that she's had stashed away since she moved in, probably a couple weeks before. That is her office stuff. It's her guide to colleges, an autograph Dear Abby book, and a giant plant. It's
established that she hasn't been there for too long. She's still kind of, I guess,
settling
trying
in.
to figure out the house chemistry. That's my assumption anyway.
Yeah, she has a relationship with the kids. It's kind of made out that she sees them probably a few times a year. There were probably quite a few visits, especially because, their dad's pilot, so...
Yeah, she lived in Wisconsin or something, I think they said?
Minnesota. It was Minnesota. It was Minneapolis.
Well, not too far away.
And it's not that far away at all. That's a hop, skip, and a jump.
I was thinking they were in LA adjacent for some reason, just because the opening credit shots, everything just looked LA to me.
No, because, one of my major memories of the Hogan family was just the establishing shots for so many episodes is the house covered in snow.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
I remember that as a kid. It could just be because it definitely had its point where the episodes got pushed around a bit, especially its final season.
Oh, do you know what else was also weird about this episode to me?
But
they kept it was near St. Patrick's Day, in their world, because they kept saying it's almost St. Patrick's Day or something. They said it a few times.
I totally missed that.
It came up a few times. I was wondering if maybe they filmed this with the intention of it taking place in the future, because I feel between season 2 and 3, that's not 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they just want to do a little time jump.
Maybe.
And just kind of create this time vortex?
Yeah, I totally missed that.
Okay, so. It's all right. All right, so then right before we're introduced to Sandy, before she comes in with her little first day of school kit, Michael gives David this pep talk. He's like, hey, Sandy's gonna I know her, I'm her, she's my kid sister, that's Sandy and I, we're so close. She's gonna need some help, but she's not a direct person. She'll never say that she needs any help.
Yeah, she's not gonna ask for help.
Yeah, you need to look out for her. And she literally walks in the room, she's carrying all this stuff. She's like, can somebody help me? I can't carry all this stuff.
Yes, I was like, oh.
It's one of those goofy transitions, and the canned laughter starts playing. It's David runs over, he grabs all this stuff. I don't know why she didn't just bring it in one at a time. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know either.
They have the swinging sitcom, kitchen door that all sitcoms have.
Didn't you have one of those as a kid?
No, I've never had you know what? I never had a door that went into my kitchen. It was just a open doorway.
A lot of older houses have the swinging door.
I mean, I lived in an old house that didn't have a swinging door. I've never seen a house that had that. Offices do, but I'm
I lived in multiple houses that have had the swinging kitchen door.
My family replaced them. I don't know. Maybe they didn't like it for some reason.
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel that's a Disney movie thing. Belle comes through her little cottage, goes into the kitchen to knead some dough. If
they're getting ready for dinner, Sandy is definitely trying to take over some of the like responsibility and that David has just like picked up that I don't think Michael has realized that David has picked up.
Michael's kind of oblivious to everything.
Yeah, like, to be fair, he wasn't really around that much.
Yeah, like, he hasn't been around for, I don't know, 16 years. He's been flying all over the place, hunting aliens. Yeah, there's an episode where he's, like, in a plane and he sees a UFO, and, like, that, I always remember that episode.
No, that's probably, like, one of my most vivid Hogan Family memories.
Yeah, I just remember him being like, what is that? And you see, like, that, like, classic, like, flying saucer UFO fly by.
They're gonna have dinner. It's all, you kind of just get, like, a look at the dynamic of what's happening.
So they're making dinner for that night, right?
Yes, it's that night.
I was, like, thinking it was morning.
No, it's not. It's not the morning. It's night. The next day is breakfast with the boys.
Okay.
And that's when David's friend shows up, and his friend tries to flirt with Sandy, and it's really creepy, and he's all like, I hope you're my guidance counselor, and she looks terrified. Terrified.
I don't know. Because it made it seem like they were getting ready to go out for the day.
No, you just weren't paying attention.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, gotta pull it up after I watch it. I'm gonna do a correction corner.
No.
All right, so the actor who plays Bert, the creepy friend, actor Steve Whitting,
Mm-hmm.
I think he must be friends with Bateman in real life, because he's appeared in episodes of Arrested Development, Ozark, Game Night, Bad Words, and my favorite Steve Whitting performance is young Matlock. There's several episodes of Matlock.
What?
Yeah, he's young Andy Griffith.
What?
I don't see it.
I don't either.
I don't know. The Friends just rubbed me the wrong way for some reason. They just took away from this. And they keep coming back. Like, they're in multiple scenes.
The friends are there throughout. Like, eventually, the Bert guy is, like, an actual cast member in the credits. He's, like, in the final episode, too.
I must, like, just repress this memory of the Friends because I don't remember them at all.
Really? I do. Especially Bert.
He just looks so much older than the other kids.
He's just creepy.
He kind of reminds me of, like, Dilbert, the comic strip.
He's on the verge of being like an Urkel. Like, if he had, like, caught on in some way, could you... Oh,
like they gave him a catchphrase?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, like it would have been his show. Sandy Duncan would have been pissed. She would have quit.
Now the kids are getting ready to go to school. Mark is going to do the whole, like, blindfolded thing, and they're like, are you sure this is a good idea? Like, nobody thinks this is a good idea except for Mark. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to pay Willie $5 to, like, guide me around. I'm like, but he's really condescending towards Willie throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, hey, I'm going to throw this out there, though. When we were in 7th grade, we actually did a project.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was, I don't remember what class, I think for health class maybe. Someone had to be blind for the day, and they wore a blindfold, and it was, like, similar to this project. I remember doing it, and I couldn't do it at all. I was like, I can't do this. And then you have to, like, write about it.
Yeah, I remember we did something like this, but I think we did it for, like, one lap around the school, and then we switched places.
Oh, no, you had to do a whole school day like it.
Yeah, no.
It was, like, someone different every day for, like, a month or something. Or maybe, like, a few people a day. You had to have, like, a helper to, like, help you around. And
oh, my God.
you know what? I think you could have picked... It was either that or you had to, like, sit in a wheelchair for the day. You got to pick. And I think I picked blind because I don't know. We really didn't have, like, elevators in the school.
Yeah.
I was like, how would I get upstairs? I was like, your friends have to carry you.
Yeah, so Mark's doing this experiment. He's cleared it with all his teachers. He's going to have Willie guide him around. And this just screams trouble. Just screams trouble.
Ugh, yeah.
And everybody's trying to talk them out of it. Everybody's trying to talk them out of it. But, like, he's just so insistent. He's like, nope, I'm going to do this.
They make jokes where they call him Zorro. I don't know. It's just wild to me. But, like, there's a part where they're at school. So, like, Willie is getting paid $5 to, like, cart him around the school for the day. And
yeah.
There's a point where Mark has to go to the bathroom. And Willie's like, I'll bring you in. But he's like, that's as far as I'm going. Like, you're going to the toilet on your own.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, just guide me to the door. And he just puts him in the girls' room.
Well, first, they're kind of fighting about the whole thing, and Willie's being a little snotty, and Mark is definitely being snotty, and Mark says, you know what, I'm only going to pay you $3 for today if you keep this up.
Oh, yeah. So he's like, all right, fine, I'll put you in.
And at that point, that's when Willie, like, Mark's like, I have to go to the bathroom, and Willie's like, boys' room, girls' room, boys' room, girls' room, and sends him into the ladies' room.
And you just hear a bunch of females screaming. But, like, they wouldn't see anything. I mean, he wouldn't see anything.
Yeah, and it's, like, over and over again. It's, like, multiple times these girls are screaming.
So do you think he took off?
And everybody outside is just laughing.
Do you think he, like, when he went in and he heard the screaming, that he took the mask off? Do you think that's what happened because he's confused?
Maybe, and then they screamed again.
Yeah, all right, that makes sense. And then, like, that's it. Like, he's done with that project. Like, we're kind of done with that plotline. We'll come back to it. Because we got to get to...
That one's kind of like, because then they start fighting, but it leads into everything else. So, Sandy is working at David's school. She's a guidance counselor, and she has a huge office.
It's like the Oval Office, basically. It's enormous. And then there's this, the other guidance counselor comes in.
Oh, who is just a neurotic mess.
Yeah, he's got OCD. He's crazy. And, like...
He's, like, terrified of the principal.
Sandy wants to move her desk. She doesn't like where it's at. And he's like, no. He's like, the principal told me that I had to put it there. I don't really think it mattered.
Like, this is how the principal wants your office set up. And, like, here's the thing. Guidance counselors, depending on, like, how they work, they're going to want their office set up a specific way.
Yeah.
Same thing with, like, college professors. I've been into college professors' offices that, you know, are a very basic setup. Others are a little more, like, gathering friendly kind of thing.
The way I remember it is you'd walk into the guidance area and it was like a big open room, and then there was like smaller offices adjacent to it for each guidance counselor, and then it was kind of like a little cozy area where there was like maybe like 2 or 3 chairs in each smaller office that you could like sit in individually with the guidance counselor. And then like out in the main office was like the secretary of some sort who'd just kind of be in charge of directing people where they need to go. I don't know about you, but that was my setup.
Okay, my New Jersey high school, I feel like the guidance counselors had a okay size office. Maybe like they had a window.
Yeah, like overlooking the parking lot.
Yeah, or the street or something.
Yeah, the busy road next to it.
And if they didn't have that, they had like a really kind of like just shoe closet-y kind of thing. Like my guidance counselors in Colorado, one barely did anything for anybody.
I never like went to the guidance counselor.
In New Jersey, you'd go like a couple times a year, at least at my school. Like you'd go a couple times a year.
Catch up.
Check in, like see what like, you know, kind of like work on a plan.
Yeah, like you go at like the beginning of the year, maybe like the first month or two, and like
yeah.
That was it.
And then maybe like a check-in later.
I don't even think I did that.
And then at the end of the year to try and figure out your schedule for the next year.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember that.
And like maybe start talking about colleges.
Yeah, like that's like junior year, and I don't know, I just remember being awkward.
I met with a guidance counselor once in Colorado. Once. And that was the day I registered for classes. Never got called to the guidance counselor's office ever again. Nobody talked to me about colleges or applications or anything like that. I did that all on my own.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need them. Let's be real.
Well, I had like some, because of the transfer, I had some like...
issues.
Yeah, I think I went once because... I went in a second time because I was confused why they made me take a class I wasn't going to get credit for.
That's a thing that happens in high school? Like you can take a class that you don't get credit for?
Yeah, okay, because, well, here's the thing. In New Jersey, the way my U.S. history classes were set up, it was 2 years. So you did like Discovery of America all the way up to just like post-Civil War. And then the second year you would do post-Civil War to today.
Okay, see, I never switched high school, so I didn't know like credit transfers and how all that works.
Yeah, so I had like a year of U.S. history class credits. They then put me in U.S. history, but the U.S. history at this school was from Discovery of America all the way to current day in 1 year.
Ooh.
So like I took these classes and I didn't get credit. And I was like, well, why did you? I was like, you made my schedule based on the classes that I had taken.
You need to go back and slap that guidance counselor across the face. Was it Sandy Duncan?
Like, why did you make me do this?
I'm going to throw this out there. I feel like she wouldn't be a good guidance counselor for some reason. I don't know why.
Who, Sandy?
Yeah. Like, I feel like she can run the house okay, but I don't know. Like, just the way she acts with David's friends. I'm like, no, I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, Bert is creepy as hell.
That is true. And I mean, he was like coming in, like hitting on her in the episode, so.
David helps her to the office, and he's kind of smothering her.
Oh, because he was like taking that advice from his dad, like, hey, you know what, you need to help her no matter what, kind of thing. And he takes it literally, like, I'm gonna help her with everything. Like, I'm gonna like tuck her in at night.
Yeah, he's basically like treating her as if she's one of the twins.
Like he like walks her to the office, and she's like, oh, thank you, all right, I'll take it from here. And he's like, no, he's like, I gotta do everything for you. I gotta organize your folders for you. I gotta. Do you want me to bring your lunch?
And she's like, dude, go to class. I'm sure you have a pop quiz somewhere. Go. She like has to kick him out.
Hold on, we skipped over the Mrs. Poole segment of the episode because she comes in the house. So
Mrs. Poole comes by and she's got presents for Sandy. She has a crocheted pencil sharpener cozy. and a crocheted stapler cozy.
Yeah, and so she hands the pencil sharpener cozy to Sandy at first, and she's like, I hope you don't have one of these. And she's like, oh no, like I think so. I've always wanted it. And she's like, now you can keep your pencil sharpener cozy. And she's like, oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, okay, yeah, I definitely don't have one. And then she's like, I just need one for my stapler now. And then she's like, pulls something out of her pocket. And she's like, I got that too. If it's too small, just bring it back. We can always tailor it. And she's like, okay. And then Mrs. Poole goes into like a weird like rap segment. Like she starts rapping.
Yes.
I used to love Mrs. Poole, but this is my first time seeing Mrs. Poole in many, many years. And I just didn't know how to take the scene. It's just like...
Yeah, I didn't know either. The best part is, like, Mrs. Poole leaves, and Sandy goes, is it just me? And David's like, no, it's not you.
It's her.
It's her.
Yeah. And
it's her.
I do love her Mrs. Poole's sweatsuit, though. It's like the matching, like, gray sweatpants with the gray sweatshirt.
Yes.
Like the non-hoodie version. That, like, I feel like that's what she wears every day, right?
I feel like Mrs. Poole is your typical 80s stay-at-home mom. She probably goes to like a jazzercise class or something.
She was on her way to jazzercise right after this. Yeah, with the other gals. Maybe like I bet she has like a wine club, like Monday night wine club.
Or something, you know.
Bridge club. I think bridge was big in the 80s, right?
Maybe, I think so. I don't know. Does anybody play bridge now?
I don't even know how to play bridge. Like,
yeah, neither do I.
What is it? Is that the game with pegs, or is it a card game? I don't even know what to tell you.
No, it's a card game.
Okay, what's the game with pegs that people always play?
Cribbage?
Sure. Cribbage, yeah. Cabbage?
Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know.
So we're at the school. We'll jump back to the school. And David's being like a helicopter nephew, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yes, is the best way to put it, yes.
Sandy's trying to be subtle. She's trying to, like, you know, she's dropping hints like, you know, I'll be fine. I think, like, the phone rings and the intercom buzzes, and, like, David answers it. He's like, what are you doing, kid? Don't you have a science class to get to or something? Or
yeah, like, don't you have class, pop quiz somewhere? Just get out of here.
And he's like, no, I gotta make sure you, like, settle in fine. He's like, let me see your appointment book. Maybe I'll, you know, I know the students. Maybe I'll walk them down. And she's like, no.
It's like, David, go.
And then the other guidance counselor come in, and he's like being neurotic. So like Sandy's like, you know, I might just quit.
Oh, he is a gigantic neurotic mess.
The principal buzzes in, and it's like, if I was Sandy, I would have just quit. I would be like, I'm out. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going back to Minnesota, where the fuck she was from. First plane back.
So the principal wants to know if she and the other guidance counselor can do a 4:30 meeting. She checks. The other guidance counselor's like, oh yeah, tell him I'm really like some like sucky up kind of thing. And Sandy's like, yeah, we could do it. Doesn't mention like the sucky up comment. And the guy's like, don't do that again.
The other guy, all right, no, this is what it was. So the principal on the buzzer says, is the other guidance counselor there? And Sandy says, yes, he's just putting on his pants right now.
Oh, yeah.
She was making like a light little joke.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, sexual harassment humor didn't exist in the 80s, I guess. Like,
I guess not. Like, today, that would not fly.
It was fun to joke around. And when she hangs up the intercom phone thing, he's like sweating bullets. And
yeah.
He's like, please don't do that again. And she's like, oh, he laughed at it. It's okay.
Yeah, like this dude, he's just a nervous mess. He is like one of the most neurotic TV characters I have ever seen in my life.
And he's in charge of children, which I think is what makes it funny.
That is terrifying.
First day of school's over, I guess, and they're all going home.
Well, yeah, so like she has the meeting. David's like, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of dinner. And then he like finally leaves.
He finally goes to his classes. So like we cut back. It's like later on that afternoon, pre-dinner, and Willie and Mark are like a hot mess. They're arguing with each other. David's cooking and like trying to get a handle on it. Sandy comes home and she like sees the house is in shambles and she
comes in and the boys are like physically fighting and David's trying to like tear them apart. Which I'm gonna be honest, in the like 4 episodes of the Hogan Family that I watched last night, 3 out of 4 episodes, those boys were, like, attacking each other.
You know what? They spend a lot of time together. They share a room. Like, it's bound to happen.
They're twins. They're both going through puberty.
Yeah, hormones are flying. It's...
You know, there's no talk of them seeing, like, a therapist or dealing with their grief, because it's an 80s sitcom.
I mean, I feel like therapy was, like, taboo then. Like, you don't talk about it. Yeah. It's a thing. If you did go, like, you didn't let no one knew. You have to hide that business card. So Sandy wants to like intervene and like take care of it. I feel like, you know, I'm a guidance counselor. I got all these wise years of experience. And David's like, no. He's like, you know, why don't you go work on your files? Because she has like a big folder And she has like 2 folders. One is like her students.
She has 2 folders. She has like a stack of like all her students except for one. And then the other big file is Bert.
And there's like Post-its on that one because she couldn't fit it all in the accordion style folder. So he's like, go take care of the Bert file. He's like, I'll take care of it. But she's like, but the big game's tonight, because I think Bert and Ted come over.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be in a game, like a hockey game or something.
Yeah, he has his duffel bag like by the door, and
she's like, David, again, she kind of like forces him to go. She's like, I will figure this out. She's like, just go to your game. Go to your game.
Reluctantly. He's like, fine. All right. So he like takes off, and Bert's being creepy again to Sandy. She like slams the door on them basically. So they go, and then Mark and Willie, one's gonna sleep on the living room couch, the other one's gonna stay in the bedroom for the night.
Yeah, they're basically breaking up.
Yeah.
One wants to move out of the room.
Sandy using like reverse psychology, it's like later on the night. I think it's like after dinner now. And Sandy's like, she has this like hot idea. She's like, all right, buttering up Mark. Is that who it is? Or is it Willie? I can't remember.
No, it's Willie she talks to. Because let's be real, Willie's the more gullible one.
Okay, so Willie comes down. He's in his nightrobe, and Sandy's on the couch drinking her tea, going through her files. I just love that, like, she's doing work like, at home. And she's got, like,
oh my God,
little folders on her lap. This is, like, a pre-computer world. I don't even know what she was, like, supposed to be doing, to be honest with you.
I think she was just, like, kind of going over, like...
everyone's permanent records.
Everyone's just little record, like, looking for anybody.
Looking for the troubled people.
Trying to flag the ones who are going to show up in her office and be like, okay, so I want to apply to Harvard, Yale... yada, yada, yada. I
feel like the school's not that organized, so they didn't, like, tell her, like, hey, you need to watch out for these people. These people are going to come to you every day, so she had to, like, figure it out on her own. So she, she was doing work. Mm-hmm. Probably going through Bert's file, seeing how creepy he is. So Willie comes in, and so Sandy's all like, hey, it must be, like, cool having your own room, like, you're the big man on campus up there now. Like, it's all you. You can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You can leave the light on if you want when you sleep. And he's like, yeah, it's great. It's, it's bitching, man. It's bitching, Sandy. And she's like, yeah, but, like, sometimes I bet you get lonely up there, though, right? And he's like, yeah, a little bit.
And it's been, like, an hour.
Yeah. I don't think even that long, to be honest with you.
Probably not.
I feel like it's, like, dinner and, like, a shower, and that's it. However long that takes.
Yeah, not very long.
So she's like, why don't you, like, say one thing you dislike about Mark, and then, like, name something that you like about Mark? He starts doing that, and then he keeps, like, naming things that he likes about Mark. And he's like, you know what? He's like... kind of miss him. Kind of miss the guy now.
Yeah.
And then, like, doesn't he, like, come into the room now, and they start bonding again, miraculously?
Yeah, they start bonding again. It's all good. And then they leave to start moving Mark's stuff back.
Yeah, like...
and then David comes back in.
Yeah, that's where David comes back in. He's like, hey, is everything cool with the bros?
He's like, don't worry, Sandy. I'll take care of the guys. He's like, I got this. I'm sure they're, like, out of control right now. And then they come in, they walk through the kitchen, and they're just chill.
Yeah, like, their arms are under each other kind of thing.
And David's like, wait, what is going on?
Yeah, Sandy makes this, like, smarmy look on her face, like, told you I'd do it, bitch. Told you.
And then they have, like, a heart-to-heart.
Yeah, we get this, then we get, like, we only mentioned your dead mom once at the very beginning of the episode, but now let's, like, cue the heartstrings music right now.
Yeah.
The little piano playing. We get that close-up of David and Sandy's face, and we start learning about how, like, I guess Sandy was there when David was born, like, she was in the room or something.
Yeah, like, she's his godmother. Like, they have a close bond. Like, this comes up later on. Like, from the way it sounds, from what I've seen in other episodes, too, is that Sandy was probably around when the kids were little. Then she got married and moved to Minneapolis. And when that marriage ended, she came back.
She had nothing else to live for, so she wanted to go back to see her real family.
She probably was, like, in Minnesota for just a few years. Marriage didn't work.
During this, like, heart-to-heart talk, we get, like, a line from David. He's like, I just feel like that you're gonna leave just like Mom left us. And she's like, no, like, I'm here for the long haul, David. I'm always gonna be here. I was there for you from the very beginning. I saw you emerging into this life. I will see you out. It got, like, a little bit awkward.
A little awkward, yeah. Like, they were definitely trying to create a bond between these characters that hasn't been there.
Wasn't, like, a tentpole of the Valerie Hopper years was Jason Bateman and Valerie Hopper, their, like, scenes together, like, in the kitchen, like, bonding over dinner or breakfast or whatever.
Yeah.
Immoral things that David was going through at the time, like dating a 24-year-old woman, but...
yeah.
Doesn't have that with Sandy Duncan yet, so they had to, like, create it, and... I guess that's the point of the episode.
Yeah, it's to kind of, like, reset things, show where the family is.
Sandy's like, like, I appreciate you, like, helping out your brothers, but, you're just a young guy, you're just a young whippersnapper. You need to You need to be you too. You know, you need to have a good time. Go have fun nights with Bert and Ted. Maybe go down to the pop shop, have yourself some soda, play some video games with your friends. I don't know. Maybe Duck Hunt is cool right now. I don't know. Whatever's hot right now.
Pac-Man.
Well, maybe Ms. Pac-Man's hot now or something.
Yeah.
And David's like, you're right, Sandy. Like, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a friend and a new mom. You know, we're going to have a great 3 years now. The next 3 years are going to be a blast.
That final season's just a little weird because it like starts in the fall and ends in July and ends with a Christmas episode.
Well, it like switched networks too, right?
Yeah, it switched to CBS.
Yeah, like they canceled it, and CBS was like, you know what? We still got stories to tell. We still got stories to tell.
They canceled it. Then CBS canceled it like within 10 episodes and didn't air the finale until July.
All right, I'm gonna ask the question. I'm gonna ask the age-old question. On a scale of 1 out of 5, creepy Bert accordion-style folders, how many creepy Bert accordion-style folders would you give Season 3, Episode 1 of the Hogan Family? Are we going to get a Rare Cat 5? Are we going to get a Midland? Or are we going to get a Goose Egg?
I feel like the 5s are not as rare as you make them out to be.
I don't know. I mean, we got a few. We've gotten a few in the last couple episodes, so I mean, they're creeping up. You know what? Global warming's happening.
I'm going to say it's a 4.
Okay, I see it.
It hits all the beats of that you need in a sitcom, especially like when things are resetting. We get lots of Bateman.
I'm going to give it a 4 also. I mean, it wasn't, like, the best episode of the Hogan Family. It wasn't, like, a memorable episode, but it's definitely, as you said, it's a good reset piece.
Yeah.
We had 2 hot seasons where it was a show with a different character's name in the title.
Yeah.
And She Gone Girl, and now we got to start over. I feel like, I feel like Jason Bateman's being promoted here. Like
I feel like
bumped up.
Jason Bateman, I think at this point definitely took more of the show like as a leading character. Like, yes, Sandy Duncan's like the name right now, but I feel like it was really more Bateman.
Yeah, I think he carried the show.
Yeah.
It obviously led to other great things, as we'll see as we go throughout his career. All right.
I mean, I personally, I just love Jason Bateman. Like, if I see him, if I'm like flipping through the channels and he's in something, I stop and watch.
All right. Do you remember the episode of the Hogan Family where the house catches on fire? For some reason, that episode is like the most memorable one in my mind for some reason.
Vaguely. I vaguely remember that one.
So it aired this season. And I guess it was like the final, I just was reading into it. I didn't pick up on it when I was little, but I guess it was like the final fuck you to Valerie Harper because they had like pictures of her and like scrapbooks and all this stuff like in the attic and the house burns down. So all that stuff like burns away. Like it's all burned.
Oh.
So it's kind of like the final middle finger to her. Just a memorable episode to me because I just remember I was always afraid of attics and like old lamps because what happens is I think like David goes up in the attic and he finds like an old lamp he built in like 5th grade shop class or something, and he like tries to turn it on. He like plugs it in and like pulls the string to turn it on, and like it doesn't turn on, and he's like sad. But then when he leaves, it like sparks and like the whole house burns down, and they have to live at the Pools house for like a few episodes. Yeah, and I think they even did like major like set redesigns for the show. Like they just wanted to like create a whole new set.
They definitely recolored some things.
Yeah,
like because in the earlier seasons, like the cabinets are like painted yellow and blue or something like that.
I want to point out this is the ugliest sitcom kitchen I've ever seen. The cabinets are ugly. There's like weird wicker chair furniture in there for some reason. There's like multiple like sit down areas in here in the kitchen for some, and it throws me off. Like was this supposed to be 2 rooms?
It's like the sets are huge. Like it's so weird though because then like if you like stop, you realize the kitchen set is the same kitchen set from Family Matters.
It is, yeah. They recycled the sets, and I think even maybe one of the other sets was used in Step by Step. I don't know exactly which one though.
I want to say the living room, except some stuff moved around.
We didn't really get that many living room shots in this episode though.
But even then, the living room is huge.
One thing I noticed though, there's a lot of like sitting areas. So for like a relatively small family, so it's normally only like, I mean, if you count the dad, it's the 5 of them, but he's like never around. So they really only need like sitting area for 4 people for most of the part. So they have like the formal dining room area, I guess where they eat dinner, And then they have like a kitchen table. And then in the kitchen, they have like another sitting area.
Yeah.
And that's with all the wicker furniture. And I'm just like, but that's where Sandy Duncan seems to do like her like classwork. It almost kind of looks like it should be like another room, like a porch.
It's this weird area. That's always been like an odd area to me. It's just like this extra space. I think maybe like originally it was part of like Valerie's workspace, maybe.
Maybe there is a I noticed in the corner of that weird sitting corner of the kitchen, there's a laundry basket. So I wonder if like the washer and dryer's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like tucked away somewhere where we can't see it. And
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe like Sandy Duncan sits there while she's waiting for her laundry to do its laundering.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of weird to think about her like sitting there just watching the spin cycle. I don't know. It was weird. And then the opening credits to me is wild. This is like the craziest.
The opening credits are so iconic.
It starts off and it's like one of the younger brothers. I think it might be Mark, and he's like pitching a baseball, but it's like coming towards the camera, but it's like obviously like animated.
Yes.
Then we kind of like flash to the whole family, and there's like one segment, and it's like Jason Bateman playing hockey, and he must score a goal because like the dad like cheers, but he's wearing like the craziest like 80s sweater I've ever seen in it. It's one of those ones that always pops up in movies and sitcoms of the 80s and 90s, like the Santa Claus, like one that Judd Reinhold would wear.
Yeah.
Then we get like like establishing shots of like Sandy Duncan, and her and like Jason Bateman are doing this like weird like electric slide type dance.
Oh.
Then there's like a snowball fight between like the three brothers and the dad, and they're like really going to town on each other in it. It's like wild. I just like
they like have built a snow dinosaur, Tyrannosaurus Rex, so that looks so good.
Yes.
Like holy crap.
Is there a scene of them skiing too, or is that
the dad's like shot is like somebody goes off skiing, and then it's like a close up of him in like his ski gear and his skis.
He's doing that thing where he like he stops like at a flat spot, and he kind of does that little like ski slide thing, and he smiles at the camera.
Yeah.
And I always felt bad for him because he's like the last one in the credits.
Yeah, but he's also like the one seen the least.
That is true.
And like once he gets that ski shot, they like never update it.
No, I think that's like a season 1 shot, right?
No, it's not. Like in season 1, it's him in the house, like getting ready to leave.
Oh, in his pilot attire.
But, like whenever they add in that ski shot, if it's season 2 or something, then
they kept it.
That's it. He doesn't get updated.
He was never around. He was never around enough for them to update it. You know what? On the days they were filming the credits,
he was off playing golf.
Probably. All right, I'm excited for next week. We're gonna move along a few years in the Jason Bateman category. Jason Bateman January continues.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do one of his one season wonders, so to say. This is a show that you watched, right? Like you just watched this like a few weeks ago, and
yeah, I've watched a handful of episodes that I've been able to find. Like I think all the episodes of it are on YouTube.
Yeah, I believe so. I saw a few of them at least. I at least saw the pilot and like one other one.
There's only like 15 episodes. It's called Chicago Suns. It stars Paula Marshall, David Krumholtz, and some other guy who was not recognizable enough to like know off the top of my head.
I think it was D.W. Moffat. I think that might have been it.
What is that name? What is that name?
You don't know D.W. Moffat?
Apparently not.
He was in Switched at Birth, Friday Night Lights, Life is Wild. Let me see. Let me just see if that was him actually in it. Yeah, that was him in it. He's the other guy. Yeah. I don't know. You've seen him before. Like, you definitely know him.
I know I've seen him and stuff, but it's not like a face I can name and be like, oh, I saw him in this, and this. You know what I mean?
Yes. All right. So the premise of Chicago Suns is they're like three brothers of various ages that they all get an apartment together over Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Pretty much.
Kind of like, is it kind of like a Friends vibe, but it's brothers? Is that maybe the setup?
A little bit. It's definitely from that era of the living in the city, make your own family sort of thing.
This was a 1997 series, so I feel like this is that run where sitcoms just all had to be either but a friend group or like a small group of people that were close.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it. I only just like looked at the theme song real quick. And I think they show like the baseball field like numerous times in the credits, and I was like, wow, I can't wait to watch this. And like Jason Bateman has like wild 90s hair. It's that like long Chris Hardwick singled out hair.
Yes. Oh, this is nothing. Wait till we get to the next one.
Oh, I looked at videos of that too, and that looks wild. All right, so join us next week when we talk about Chicago Suns. And it's SONS, not like the sun above the sky, but, they're the sons of somebody. Where can you follow our Wild Ass Adventures, Cat? Said the author. Where can you follow us?
You can follow us on Twitter at Very Podcast. You can find us on Tumblr, Instagram, and Facebook at A Very Special Podcast. Do not accept invitations. You can find us at averyspecialpodcast.com, saltyrockmedia.com. You can find us on pretty much any application to listen to podcasts. YouTube, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Podcast, yada, yada, yada. You found us, so you subscribe.
You know the drill. And as always, girl,
bye!
Watch the skies for Michael Hogan flying away in his airplane for the week.